Guys, welcome back to another video. Lots to talk about today. Lots of interesting things to go over, from a new potential rumor or leak, I guess you could say, of more Activision games coming over to Xbox Game Pass, to some weird stuff going on with Concord, with one of its rivals in the first-person shooter genre actually having a great open beta. We'll look at all that stuff plus some other things. But before we do get into it, if you enjoy daily gaming news, daily game content, make sure to hit that subscribe button and also hit the like button if you did enjoy the video. So yesterday we got the first game from the Activision side of Activision Blizzard King. I mean, people in comments are telling me that it isn't the first game because Diablo 4 was dropped from Blizzard, and I totally get that. However, this is the first game under the Activision umbrella. Diablo 4 I consider under the Blizzard umbrella, and you could literally look at them all as Xbox. But there's looks like they're now starting to flow in to the service. We're going to hopefully be seeing a lot more of these coming forward, like Spyro Reignited Trilogy. And now we're getting this rumor here that the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy is going to be coming over to Xbox Game Pass on August 8th. So just in a couple of weeks. And this is from XSCs as well, who talked about Call of Duty coming over yesterday. It dropped and it came with Season 5 into Xbox Game Pass. And then this is on Twitter saying 100% confirmed. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy will be available on Game Pass on August 8th, 2024. I'm going to remember it because I didn't post an individual tweet about it, and perhaps some have not seen the video where I mentioned it. I give myself the luxury of confirming it as well. So August 8th looks like it's going to be one of the next dates for some more Activision games coming in. And to me, this is the beginning of what we're going to start noticing going forward, where we are going to start getting rollout of the back catalog of Activision titles coming into Xbox Game Pass, which is extremely exciting because they have so many games that they could be putting in there, from like the Tony Hawks to the Spyros to the Crashes. I would love to see like Prototype back in there. There's so many games from Activision in their back catalog that they could drop in the service at any time and just kind of keep that snowball to get rolling and getting bigger and keeping hype around Game Pass every single time that this does happen. A lot of people may have not checked out the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. I played it when it first originally released. I love the Crash series. It's really well done. A really nice remake of the older games with the new graphics and everything. They did a very, very good job. So pretty cool stuff, and we'll keep our eyes open for what is to come next after Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Is this just going to be August 8th? Is this going to be the only one, or are there going to be more? And it does kind of seem like we aren't going to be getting, at least as of right now, what happened with Bethesda, where they came out with just a huge drop all at once from their back catalog into Game Pass. And I have a feeling the reason why they wouldn't do that is because they are at that point now where they are going to have continuous major games dropping in from now until the end of the year to have the hype for Game Pass, that they don't really need to do something like that to kind of fill in the gaps. And then you take individual games or a couple of games every now and then when Game Pass may be slower, and then it gets people excited to jump back in. Because of course, Modern Warfare 3 has been out now for going on almost a year, but it was still tons of hype around it dropping into Game Pass for all the people who hadn't played it yet. And they're going to be able to continue to do things like that. Now, Fallout, obviously Fallout is a title and IP that I don't think we're going to see a new one of for a very, very long time. Obviously, Elder Scrolls 6 is next on the slate, and they're just kind of starting the next Fallout. But there is something here that you could play that is technically a brand new experience, and that is Fallout London. This game you are now going to be able to jump in and play. It's a brand new experience. It's a mod for Fallout 4 called Fallout London, but it's going to be something that you've never experienced before. It says, back at the end of last week, we mentioned the highly ambitious Fallout 4 mod known as Fallout London was still on the way despite a setback earlier this year. But as things stand, it's only ever expected to release on PC as of right now. But it looks like that they do want to bring Fallout London over to Xbox as well. As in their official FAQ, they say there's no plans to reach Xbox or any other console. But speaking to Metro recently, the lead developer Dean Carter says this: what we want is to speak to a decision maker, because if we can make it a standalone thing with their Bethesda's permission, that means that people on gaming consoles could use it which they currently can't. And I think this is a no-brainer. If you are Bethesda, if you are Xbox, and you're seeing this mod come out, especially if it is highly touted and people like it and they're playing, they're having a lot of fun, you just make a deal here with guys if it is a good mod and you put it out there for the console gamers and you keep people having something new as they continue to wait for the next Fallout game. To me, that's just an absolute no-brainer. So hopefully they do get in contact with those decision makers, and that is something that can happen for it to be released on Xbox. Now, this is another quote here that they talk about in terms of the game itself and what you can expect from it. They say, Fallout London is an ambitious DLC-sized mod that brings the players into the nuclear apocalypse all the way to the doorsteps of Parliament. The mod encapsulates the gritty, adventurous nature of the Fallout games with a new world, factions, storylines, NPCs, weapons, creatures, and much more. This all comes together in a package tied with a uniquely British bow. So there it is, Fallout London. And in fact, it's actually available today, so you can go and play it right away. They confirmed that it will be playable on July 25th. So we'll see how this game does take off. And like I said, it's a no-brainer for it to come to Xbox. If the decision makers at Bethesda and Xbox get approached and they miss this, I think it would be a bad move by them. Now, as we know, at Xbox, unions are starting to form. This was one of the major talking points about the ABK deal and potentially being able to unionize, and Microsoft and Xbox not standing in the way of employees wanting to unionize. And we saw, I think it was last week, Bethesda Game Studios unionizing, and now we are seeing here it happening again, but this time from the World of Warcraft developers, forming Blizzard's largest and they say most inclusive union of over 500 employees. They have organized across multiple departments, creating the first wall-to-wall union of its kind at the studio. Specifically, it says here more than 500 developers at Blizzard Entertainment who work on World of Warcraft have voted to form a union. The World of Warcraft Game Makers Guild, formed with the assistance of the CWA, the Communication Workers of America, is composed of employees across every department, including designers, engineers, artists, producers, and more. And together they have formed the largest wall-to-wall union, or a union inclusive of multiple departments and disciplines at Microsoft. And as I said, this comes less than a week after the formation of the Bethesda Game Studios union, which they say at the time of the announcement was the largest wall-to-wall Microsoft union, and now obviously surpassed here with this one. So that is pretty big here that they are continuing to form more unions, and Microsoft and Xbox obviously sticking to what they had promised, which is not getting in the way if this is what employees wanted to have. And they say here, Catherine Friesen, a quest designer on the World of Warcraft team, spoke about how the impetus for the union came out of the desire to uphold one of Blizzard's company's values: every voice matters. And they go on and continue to talk about it. So this was not a surprise, as I said last week, with the industry and the way that it has been going in 2024, already having more layoffs than the entirety of 2023. You're seeing more and more studios close and more weird things happening, and people just kind of losing their positions. So you're going to see more of this stuff, I do believe, especially at Microsoft and Xbox. Now that other studios are seeing that these are going through, you'll probably see that more of this pop up moving forward. We talked about yesterday as well, when it comes to layoffs, Humble Games, and how they laid off the entire staff at Humble Games. And this is a company or studio that's owned by IGN. And I talked about how IGN, as a major gaming journalist outlet and publication, wasn't that surprising. I mean, I think less people are paying attention to that mainstream gaming news side of things and going to more individual creators or just smaller websites and stuff, and people that they would trust more. So they're getting less viewership, they're getting less readership, and they're going to have to start making cutbacks in more than one way. And this was just one of them. But the situation is actually getting a little weird. There's a couple of updates here saying that Humble Games has denied using AI to write a statement. So they wrote a statement after talking about how they weren't closing down the studio. They were just reorganizing, even though they had laid off everybody at the studio itself. And then they got accused of it being written in AI, and Humble Games is denying using AI to write the statement they say put out regarding the layoffs and the restructuring. And in addition to to that, a spokesperson for the company says that Humble Games and Ziff Davis are not commenting further about the ongoing restructuring of this time. It has been very odd here what has gone down, laying off every single employee and then coming out and saying, hey, yeah, we are still keeping this studio open. We are just restructuring and Humble Games is still going to be around without any employees. And then putting out a statement where they're being accused of writing it in AI and now saying they aren't commenting any further on any of this information. This is a terrible look here for IGN, for Humble Games, for this entire company as to what has happened here. And of course, if more does develop, we will continue to cover it. Now, when it comes to Concord, as we know, Concord had an open beta and it did not do very well. And when I say did not do very well, there is another game that is in a beta right now, or in closed beta, I should say, and it's Marvel Rivals. Now, I understand Marvel Rivals is Marvel. I mean, it's a huge IP. You're going to have a lot more fans, but it is a hero shooter. It's a game that's going to be, I would say, competing directly with a game like Concord. My biggest question with Concord after playing the beta was, who's going to play this when there are so many other options that are basically the exact same and better games and all this stuff? Who's going to play Concord? And that was shown with the player numbers of that game. And now you can see a comparison here with a game that has a lot more hype and obviously more people are interested in a closed beta, and they have an all-time peak of 52,000 players going in. Now, that's not earth-shattering anything, but it does show just how much bigger this is. And this is a game here that you actually had to get a code to play it. You needed a code to play Marvel Rivals. Once this thing goes into open beta, or once this thing gets released and you don't need that, it's going to be like way, way bigger than this. And it's going to be far bigger than Concord. So this is a game that it's going to be in direct competition. You're going to see Concord continue to just kind of fail. And I don't think many people are going to be jumping in and playing it, but I will give them credit because they did announce this, and I am a fan of this, and I kind of will love to see more games go to this. And this is not having a battle pass, but actually just being able to add in new characters and maps for free in the game. So as you know, Concord is not free to play. It is $40. But with that $40, they are actually going to be giving you free content, which I think is a very, very good thing. They say Concord does not have a battle pass. We wanted to focus our attention on making Concord a rewarding and robust experience on day one. We're just playing the game, leveling up your accounts and characters, and completing jobs yields meaningful rewards. So I actually really do like that, and I'm a fan of this over the battle pass and the free to play stuff, where if you're paying $40 for the game, that means you're going to get continuous content into it. Now, the issue with this that I do foresee is that if nobody plays Concord, that content coming into the game is going to be very few and far between. I don't think it's going to last very long. With the live service side of things, if nobody plays it at the start, you could argue that they continue to add content, they continue to build on it, and then more players pick up, and then it keeps the game alive and allows the developers to actually go out and make more content if people are spending money continuously on the microtransactions here. But if nobody buys the game for $40, I don't think they're just going to continue to be sinking money into it and adding new content for such a small player base. It'll just, the return on investment wouldn't be there whatsoever. It is kind of giving me Bleeding Edge vibes as of right now, but I would love to see like the next Halo come out at a full price or something and just give the full content continuously throughout there as they continue, as the game does move forward, and not have very many microtransactions in it. All right, jumping over here, there's an update here for Apex Legends and the Battle Pass changes. EA is actually canceling the Battle Pass changes following an outcry from the community there. They were starting with Season 22. They say there will be two $10 Battle Passes per season rather than one, and EA was planning to remove the ability to actually purchase the premium Battle Passes using the game's virtual currency Apex coins. That's kind of a scummy move because I haven't played Apex in a very long time, but I guess you earn those and then you can use that from earning it within playing the game to go buy the battle passes, which that isn't a bad thing when it comes to battle passes. I don't mind that if it means that you're not spending $10 every single month. If you can actually just play the game for a certain amount of time and earn your way to that battle pass, is actually not a bad model. So I would understand the outcry if they were removing that. And it looks like following the outcry from players, it was confirmed yesterday that this will no longer be the case when Season 2 launches on August 6th. And here's what they say. You've spoken and we've listened. With the release of Season 22, we will restore the ability to get the Premium Battle Pass for 950 Apex coins. We recognize that we could have handled the Battle Pass changes better, and that's on us. You'll be able to earn enough Apex coins via the Battle Pass to get future passes. So that's great to hear. And they say Apex Legends Battle Pass currently runs for the whole season and has 110 levels. And going forward, each season will offer 2 Battle Passes, one for each split, with both including 60 levels. And the launch of Season 2, the first Premium Battle Pass will be unlockable by completing a series of simple in-game challenges. So that's good. I mean, it's so weird why they would take that away, other than they were trying to force people to go out and spend that $10 and spend more money than they've probably already spent tons of within this game. As again, it's another free-to-play game where you can just do a tons of microtransactions and maybe forget how much you're actually racking up and the amount of money you are spending. But at least if you're playing it, you're earning these coins and you can save on spending real money after the fact if you play it so much. And people who only play this game, I'm sure they barely actually have to spend to purchase a battle pass every single season. It's good that they listened and added in, but the motive probably at the very start of it was not very good. And finally, just a quick announcement here, because this is a really cool game and it was pretty exciting to see that they were remastering this, and that's Shadows of the Damned has the release date. They have confirmed the release date. It's coming out for the PS5, the PS4, the Xbox One, and the Series consoles, the Nintendo Switch, and PC. Everything is coming out for on October 31st. It's a pretty fitting date for this game to be coming out on, and it is only going to be $25 if you haven't played this game. I have it on the 360. It is a very, very fun game, an interesting game, quirky game. So go check it out if you haven't, or just wait for the remaster, and $25 you can jump in and play that. But I'm going to end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.